And what I wanted right now is, I'm going to put myself on the spotlight.
Okay, now it's working.
What I wanted right now is that you're going to use a technique in order to see how is your health system regarding your vision. Just in order that you see that there's different kinds of techniques that we are going to be using within Tantra to allow to correct some stuff being generated homeostasis then inside the body. I'm going to explain what is homeostasis and what are the stages of homeostasis and what are the phases of homeostasis in order that we can understand. Okay, what I'm going to be asking you, your vertebral column completely straight. And you're going to be looking, if you have a laptop, you're going to see to the green point that is over there. That is your camera. Just look to it. And now you're going to place the tongue where the dentines are. And very smooth, the tongue is going to go from the teeth towards the middle of the palate with that very gentle pressure. You stay in the middle, and then the tongue is started to go to the bell. Now what I wanted is that you do it again. Now be in awareness, the interrelation that this has down here. Again, very gentle inhalation, and start to move your tongue. Leave it there, like a taco, and then put pressure there. Keep looking to the light. Now try to look to the ceiling with not moving your head. Come back and relax. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. And again, the same exercise. Tongue, where the dentines are. Fix your eye to the light of the screen. Very gentle inhale through the nose, very slow, and start to move your tongue. Once there, push the tongue, and now look to the ceiling. And now there, pulse your perineum. Pulse, 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 pulse. Come back and relax, close your eyes. Open your eyes back again. How do you feel? Sensations?
Light.
Bit emotional. Things were getting blurred on the when I focus on the screen. On the sides were getting blurred.
Okay, somebody else?
Shaking.
Shaking inside.
And
What
light in my
happened?
head.
What happened with the head, the sensation on the head?
Not much.
Not much.
No.
A bit of heat.
Yes, something like this, like you were caressing the top of the head, the cranius. What we were doing, all the nerve system that were inside our eyes and all the nerve system that are in the cortex and the connection that are in between the two hemispheres, we were connecting from the nerves that are on the palate and the nerves that are in the eyes. Then what we are doing it is provoking a new pattern of communication just by doing that. No mind, connecting directly to the emotional system, to the nervous system, and you started not to be in connection with your ego and with your personality through the emotion. Then both hemispheres starting to deal with the emotion with no thinking logically or emotionally. Then there's a liberation of the emotion. Then just by doing this simple exercise, because then you allow to control the nervous system and the emotional system. Now, if I'm in a way that I'm very, very, very worried about something, that I cannot make up my mind, that is a storm, that I'm dealing with a lot of things and I don't have space for mine, my emotions are triggering a lot and my nervous system doesn't allow me to go to sleep. Very simple. Test and roll over your eyes. And with that, you allowed the nervous system and the emotional system to work in balance by your own organism. We're not doing nothing. We're not going to the psychologist. We're not doing to the therapist, just doing that. And then immediately it comes like no mind, and it's like a gap, like a void. Okay. And then emotions starting to trigger. You don't know what is going to be happening, but rootness of the emotions, because the nice communication that is going to be between the two parts is going to bring balance. That's homeostasis. To help, homeostasis is the balance that has the organism, all our being, to generate a balance between the things that are happening bad in order to bring it good, in balance. Now, the main problem that we have with this balance is that on top that our body and our mind and our biology and our chemistry started to make balance. Imagine that you have a car, an automatic and electrical car that is trying to fix the oil. But the origin is not the oil. The origin that the tank is leaking. You are going to put oil, you know, you are going to continue driving, but the origin of the problem is not the oil, it's the tank. And it's not the tank, it's because the tank is rust. Then what I'm going to be explaining is this. You have the natural balance of our bodies, but then you have all the history that we have as human beings, that when I was 2, I got scared of the thunders. And because I got scared of the thunders, now when something is frightening me a lot that I cannot control, I get in panic. Or I was abandoned. Myself, I was abandoned when I was 6 years old in the school, in the primary school. The first week, my mother told to my grandfather to come and pick me up. My grandfather forget. And now what happened? I'm 50 years old, and until 7, 8 years, I controlled the abandonment. But before, I was in my adulthood, with 30 years old, I have my beautiful person, and I was in control. Please, what is he doing? What is she doing? And then my body started to balance the nervous system, but it couldn't, because I have the stupid problem that I had when I was 6 years old. And on top of it, myself, emotionally, I'm not only because of the abandonment, but I'm completely in possession of the people. I'm attached. Then, when I'm eating a beautiful mole, you know, in Mexico, we have this kind of spicy things with chocolate, and then it comes to my digestion system. My digestion system started to go plack, 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 because I'm nervous, I'm in control, I don't want to be abandoned, and then my digestion system goes kaput. Then, if it was not only the emotions, then my digestion system is not working properly. My fluids on the stomach are completely kaput because all the history of nervous system, it allows that the digestive system goes a little bit high in acid. Then instead of enjoying a beautiful meal of Mexico, then immediately, oh, I'm feeling bad. Oh, it's coming the reflux. Oh, I have colitis. Oh, pain. And it's not because I have colitis. It's not because I have the blurbs or the reflux. It's because I was abandoned, addicted to the attachment. I cannot control my emotions. And then immediately it comes to my stomach. Then my organism starts to balance, but it cannot cope. Then what I do? Medicine, Pepto, Pepto-Bismol, magnesium, but still the same stupid problem I will have. And it will be increasing. That's where we are going to be going. Help our body with different kinds of techniques in order that allow that any kind of blockage that is psychological, psycho-emotional, psychosexual, energetically, that are in the body, we can start to liberate it. And that's where Tantra comes. Tantra is a technique that allows to liberate and expand a process, an issue, and that allow that the emotional comes out, that there is a kind of a blockage encoded in our body that is there, can be liberated. I can tell you a lot of stories regarding that, but what I would like to do is that if somebody of you have any kind of muscle problem in your body, muscle, back issues, my butt, my shoulders.
Yeah, I've been operated on my shoulder. I had an operation in my supraspinatus.
Which is the side?
Right side.
Right side. And now, if you are talking about the polarization of the human being, the right represents the masculine and the left represents the feminine. If the masculine represents the taking of decisions, the actions, the independence, being able to be seen white and black immediately, and the shoulder represents the communication of those actions, then what you will tell me, Mark?
Dat was een handstand.
Yeah. Yeah. The operation, I had it because I did a one-arm handstand and it went wrong. So it was not because something I did something stupid.
But why did you recover?
But what had happened when you were doing that standing?
Yeah, the tendon and the muscle left the bone.
What had happened emotionally?
Emotionally, I think what happened is that I lost control.
Not in the act, but in the personal life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to do something which I wasn't ready for yet, I think.
Did you speak about it?
Yeah, we just came from a festival in Portugal. We were ill and a lot of emotions were going around. And I think what I wanted was to begin with my life on a new pace. I think that was what happened.
Okay, it's not that the accident was part of the emotional system, but it's something that our body tries to talk about it. And sometimes it's not that happen for a reason. It's things that maybe you could have the accident, but it will not be so deeply involved. Then all the things that are in our mind and in our emotions are connected to the physical body. I can tell you this, myself, I have an experience of the attachment that I have. And then I have a beautiful stomach like Mexicans we have, you know, like it's like we saw it cervecero, beer. But I was not drinking beer, I was the stomach. I did diets, I did a lot of gymnasium, you know, like this. And then the stupid stomach could not go away. But could not go away. And then I resolved my attachments with my partner, and the stomach keep going. Everything was beautiful in my body, but the stomach was there, like, you know. And then one time, I was having issues with my mother and my family on my mother's side. And then I decided not to be so much attached to my mother. The stomach represents the third chakra. The stomach represents codependence, and the stomach represents familiar attachments. And then suddenly, after I decided to say, okay, I cut the relationship with my mother in a nice way. No, it's not that I'm going to be going out of my mother, it's that I'm going to be just psychological and emotionally linked to her, but not be codependent on what is happening with her. Not be codependent, okay, what is happening there? The life of my mother is the life of my mother, but I'm an independent human being. And I couldn't do that before because in Mexico, we have that link. We force us culturally to be linked to the mother, and I believe Latin Americans, we are like that. And then suddenly, like in 1 month and a half afterwards, my stomach was started to go down, and I started to lose weight. And I was eating the same food, the same Dutch food with a lot of cheese and bread. And, and it was kind of amazing for me. I still have a little bit of a stomach, but it's not the stomach that I had before. The meaning in this process of homeostasis is that everything in our body energetically, biological, is connected to the physical body, but also the physical body is connected to our emotions. Now, that's why it's so important how we can get Tantra to get connected to this. Tantra has different kinds of tools in order that they can work with the physical body, with the mind, and with the energy. And what we are going to be trying to do in the homeostasis courses, to do kriyas, that means different kinds of exercise and movements through the body, breath work, but in connection to the kriyas, and then a little bit of asanas. And I'm going to be trying to help during these lessons to go to the endocrinal system, to work directly to the main endocrinal system and work in order that we can regulate the body. But also at the same time that we go to the endocrinal system, we are going to be working directly to the chakra system. If I'm working with the chakra system, I'm going to be working energetically. If I work energetically to the chakra system, every chakra is related to the way I'm growing as a human being. Every chakra, it goes from 0 to 7 or 0 to 6 years. The first chakra was evolved when I was coming to this world until 6 years old. It got the maturity, but it continued growing. Then the development of the second chakra goes from 7 to 13 or 6 to 12, and so on. When I'm going to the biological system and in the endocrinal system, then I'm working directly with myself from 0 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 to 18, 18 to 24, and so on. Then what does that mean? That if I work with the endocrinal system, I work with my chakra system, but also I'm going to be working with, for example, from 0 to 6, we are conforming all our basic needs as human beings. We are covering all our strength to become independent. We are starting to see the first archetypes of us that are related to myself as an ego. Father, mother, grandmother, grandfather, sisters, brothers, the family around from 0 to 6. Then all these archetypes of the masculine, the feminine, the father, the teacher, the head of the family are there. Then if those archetypes were not working with me when I was from 0 to 6, what I'm going to be having as an adult? What is in the pelvic floor, biologically? God bless you, Anna.
Gracias. Genitalium.
Genitalia. What else?
Womb. Womb.
The womb.
Mm.
What else?
Anus.
Anus.
Mm.
What is related to the anus?
Perineum.
I think holding patterns, like
Holding, letting go.
Holding and let go.
Yeah.
Security issues. Be secure of ourselves. Intimate patterns. Security of the personality. All these patterns are related to the incontinence. All these patterns are related directly to premature ejaculation. All these patterns are related between intimacy, but also to be secure of who we are. All these patterns make us stable. Who am I? This is me. This is my archetype, my masculine, my feminine. How is the relationship with my mother? How is the relationship with my father? What are the projections that I have of my father and my mother into me that affect my digestion system in the anus? That affects how I go to the pee room and affects how I'm standing in my vertebral column. This is amazing. When I started to be interrelating everything that is happening in our lives with this, I know that maybe everybody in the gathering knows that we have amazing technology to help us, but we don't use it. And that's how Tantra can help. It cannot be the key to unlock everything, but can be a way to support somebody in order to be transforming something, in order to be in a very good health system, biological, energetical, and psychological. I will never forget, and with this I finish because we have to do exercises. I will never forget I was doing Tantra Kriya Yoga in Spain between 2 years. And then I have a group of men in the morning. It was very small. You know, we were like a family. We were like 10. It was not a big group in the mornings doing Tantra Kriya Yoga. And there were 2 policemen, 1 person that worked all the time in the afternoon, and I think 3 old men, you know, that they were pensionists in their 60s. is between 60s and 70s. That was the group. And we were doing kriyas and that. And then one time, the guy that was working in the afternoon came and told me, can I hug you? And I say, yes, you can hug me. And then he comes like this, yeah. And as I say, I wanted to thank you. And this guy never speak, never did nothing, just he came, do the exercise and he was gone. And to make the story short, he said, I wanted to say thank you because for the first time in my life, I could say no to my mother-in-law. She came, she burst in the door, she came and affect my relationship with my wife. And then I feel in panic, I couldn't do nothing. And then for the first time I say to my mother-in-law, please, go to your home, go do what you need to do and leave us alone. We are a family. You have already your family. You don't have to come and do this. In the same week, Anand, I went to my boss and I say, okay, boss, I need a rise of salary. You know, I want a bigger money. But 5 years I was trying to say the correct words to my boss to give me just a rise up in my salary. And everything, those decisions were because of what we do here. I was so strong into my power. I was like something had happened, I had to do it, and I was secure of myself. Then what we are going to be trying to do with Tantra is to bring a little bit of balance to the people. And homeostasis is there. We don't have to do nothing, just to do exercises. And you let the body do the rest and balance it. Mm-hmm. Now, is everybody understood the link between Tantra and homeostasis, more or less?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, what I wanted is to talk a little bit how was for you the confinement emotionally? I know for the Dutch people it was not so strong, but you were in England.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally, how was for you?
Well, because of my personality and where I am, I'm quite comfortable and I'm in my bubble, let's put it this way. So I'm comfortable in my bubble. So I'm aware, of the way that I deal with things and the way that I was brought up to be more independent, not rely on others. So this kind of feeds those patterns of mine. And because of where I live, there's outdoor space, it's comfortable. So it kind of, okay, I'm enjoying the time to myself. Let's put this way. And the weather is good most of the time. So
it's not London weather.
Yeah, it's not typical. So yeah, sunny days.
And when you went to go get your food, how was it?
Well, most of the time, when I go to, we have food delivered.
Oh,
but if I need to go, it's an outing. So I go and I take my time looking for things, and trying to keep my distance from others when possible. And it's like, okay, going to the supermarket is an event.
yeah.
So making the most of it. That's another pattern of mine, trying to see the positive in everything that I'm working in therapy. So kind of, yeah.
That's good. Okay, and I'm asking you all these questions because right now we are in a moment that we can help a little bit the people with Tantra, yeah. And that's what it came, the idea of homeostasis and Tantra. Jill, how was for you? How is it been for you? Where are you located?
I'm in Denmark, and there hasn't been any very harsh restrictions in Denmark. We have been able to go out and go to trains and to supermarket, and I have also been working. I was 1 week I was not working, but then after that I have been working. So, and also, yeah, so it has not impacted me
Too much.
a lot, but I have felt sadness and confusion. I have also felt that this was a huge crisis. Somehow, a part of me wondered intensely for about a week how it could be that you know, the most valued thing about our societies and capitalism is growth and production, and just suddenly in one day it was just all, you know, usually we would never go for that, but in one day we just made this decision that everything should stop. And I was so like, what? I couldn't understand it. How could that be? And a part of me also felt, wow, we can really do this if we want to do it. So we can change, we can make decisions, and yeah, and so I've been kind of, it's been a very quiet time for me. Quiet and a bit sad, a bit grief, but mostly I think I have enjoyed the pause, the silence, I've and many things in my life that you know, I didn't do, you know, cleaning up this and cleaning up that, taking care of the garden, and just like I've been doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, and seeing my children, and yes, so
That's good. For you, Anna and Mark?
No, it's a different story. We don't have the same story. For me, it was we had some friends. We decided, okay, we're going to meet each other the whole time. We're going to hug to each other, and we keep it with two girls, some friends. So this made it more light. But then we had our children who were scared of us, which is a very funny situation. That they thought that we were irresponsible. Our children are already 25, 16. The one of 21 was irresponsible herself. But this is a funny change of paradigm in our home. So that was interesting. And enjoying nature, you see in Amsterdam, there's no tourists in Amsterdam. It's really like every day, it's 9 o'clock on Sunday. It's so beautiful. You can see the city again.
And I will need to go back.
Yeah, you have to come back. And
yeah, it's so clean. It's so
the air is clean.
pleasant. Yeah,
it's quiet. We hear birds. Yeah, that was also there, and we enough time to go inner. For me, it was a good time to go into myself. I needed that. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, what you want to talk, Mark?
no, good.
Okay, what we're going to be doing is a very nice technique. Everybody does Nadi Sodhana. Nadi Sodhana is the alternation of the energy that goes in my left side and my right side. But what I'm going to be trying to do is a little bit different than Nadi Sodhana. First of all, I'm going to try to awake my whole neuron system that is between the hemispheres. And then I'm going to do a breath work in order to bring balance between the masculine and the feminine, just in order that I'm completely a little bit grounded in both areas. We do, and I ask you this because most of the times you are in consciousness, but there's a lot of people over there that are frightened. There's a lot of people that have suffered a lot of loss. There's people that they when go to supermarket, they become violent or they become in a panic. Down here, I'm in a neighborhood that is more or less middle down, middle upper, but this middle class. But there's a lot of issues down here. And I can see it every day, every day. Just right now, I was in my doorstep, just having the sun on me, and I was taking coffee. And then there was a woman passing with a kid. Oh, go fast, go fast. I didn't have my mask. I was just enjoying the sun and the music. But it was really, has been 50 days already that these people are still in seclusion, and there is still a lot of frightening. Okay. Then what we are going to be doing, okay, we have a balance that we have between the whole system of the body, something that triggers the inner balance of us. And that inner balance, it creates that we don't feel that we stay stable, but also it regulates how these both hemispheres interrelate. And what I'm going to be doing is disturbing a little bit the balance, the normal balance of my body through this movement. If I disturb a little bit the balance, it's going to create a little bit that is triggering back again in a new resynapsis, the way I balance. And it's very easily. I'm going to put my tongue into the palate, just in where is the hard palate. Don't pressure, just place the tongue. And remember, this is called Khechari Mudra, and Khechari Mudra always connects to this, to the Agna, Sahasrara, and Bindu in different ways, but also connects to the both hemispheres of the brain. I'm going to be my vertebral column completely straight. I'm going to be a little bit closing my eyes. I inhale through nose. I exhale through nose. Very gentle, you're going to squeeze your perineum. That means that you are connecting both ends of your vertebral column right now. When I'm squeezing my perineum, I'm compressing certain muscles that allow to connect all my nerve system through the spine. In that precise moment, I'm going to go and try to touch my left shoulder with my left ear. Keep looking. Keep squeezing your perineum. I go to the right. Now my right ear is going to try to touch my right shoulder. Left. Right. Left. Right. Now my lower stomach inside. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Concentrating a middle point over there with your eyes. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. You start to go deep in the breathing. Now open your eyes. Inhale. Drop the head to the back. Stomach inside. Tense your body. Tense your eyes. Tense. Tense. Come back. Exhale through mouth. In through mouth, out through mouth. Open your eyes if you have been closing it. What I'm awakening is inner intuition if I go to the supraconscious way. Yes? And what I'm trying to do is to bring a lot of blood flux between these, but also the oxygen moves in a different way in my head. My eyes are taking away the balance of my body. If I was standing, this exercise will bring me almost to fail. Mm-hmm. Then just that, then my autoregulation program of being in vertigo is starting to avoid the vertigo, starting to avoid and create a new communication between the right and the left hemisphere. And then it brings different kinds of oxygen where it's not going. Then just by simple doing that, it auto-regulates the way the neurons are communicating between one hemisphere and another one. Mm-hmm. Now, these new waves that I'm bringing into my body just by doing this, creating artificial vertigo, but also tensing my eyes. I was not tensing it, but I was semi-tensing my nervous system that goes directly to this part of my head and my brain. Now what I'm going to take advantage of this new oxygen that is down here in order to give oxygen to one hemisphere and oxygen to the other hemisphere. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be asking you just to place the hands like this, and I'm going to place my right thumb down here, and I'm going to clog my right nostril. I'm going to allow just to breathe there. Squeeze your perineum in. Hold it. Exhale to the same nostril. X. Squeeze in. Hold it. Exhale. Squeeze in. Hold it. Exhale. I'm going to start to shorter up. In. X. 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 Deep inhalation. Hold the breath. Eyes stop touching. Hold the breath. Exhale through mouth. Sensations in my physical body. How is my nervous system? How I feel emotionally. Even though it was a very strong pranayama, how are my emotions now? I go to the right side, same hand. Now with this finger, I'm going to clog my left nostril. Squeeze in. Hold. Exhale. Squeeze in. Hold. Exhale. Squeeze in. Hold it. Try to sense which kind of nostril it was, what kind of nostril it was the one that I have more problems. Exhale. Squeeze in. Exhale. In. Hold it. Go deep. Exhale. Vertebral column straight. In. X. I'm going to start to shorten it up. In. X. In. X. In. X. Keep squeezing. In. X. In. X. In. X. In. X. In. X. In. X. Fire breathe. Come deeper and strong. Deep inhalation. Hold it. Hold it. Stop touching. Hold it. Hold it. Exhale through mouth. In through mouth, out of mouth. Open your eyes very gentle. And even though it was a strong pranayama, what I wanted is that you identify the emotion, but also identify how was the difference between inhaling through one nostril and inhaling through the other nostril. Now with Nadi Sodhana, what we are trying to do is to get balance between my masculine and my feminine. But for those ones that they wanted to go deeper while we are clenching the perineum, I suggest that you try to avoid Mula Bandha, the master key. If you have it, I think Joao, you have it, no? Mula Bandha, the master key?
Not sure you're talking about the Master King.
There is a book that is called Mula Bandha, the master key. If you have it,
I don't know that book.
then I think I have it in PDF. I can send it to you.
Thank you.
And Anna, you have it, no?
No.
Okay, then I can send it. Jill, of course, I think you don't have it. Then it's very important that you read Mula Bandha, the Master Key, because it helps you to understand not only the energetical thing that you are doing with the Mula Bandha that is squeezing the perineum, but also how it affects biological, psychological, all the nerve system, but also the whole body. When you are squeezing your perineum, you are not only doing the Mula Bandha, that means that you are rooting yourself. You are affecting the whole psychoenergetical system of the first and part of the second chakra. You are affecting the endocrinal system. You are going directly to the inner organs. You are directly to the ovaries and the testes. When you squeeze the perineum, you communicate to the testes, and they are linked by a meridian through the nostrils. And they are linked by meridian to the both hemispheres of the brain. Then when you are squeezing the perineum, you are not only doing the routing of the chakra, you are communicating all the meridian of the masculine and the feminine to the brain, through the eyes, through the nostril, and to my sensory motor of myself, just by doing the Mula Bandha. Besides that, you are generating electrical pulses to the vertebral column that they were not there. If I clinch, automatically there's a response of my organ in the pelvic floor contracting the muscle system, and then it allows to connect electricity through my spine. Then there's a communication of all my vertebrae all the way up to my brain, just by clinching up the Mula Bandha, besides all the energetical stuff that is behind the Mula Bandha. And it's very important. If I do the Nadi Sodhana like this, of course, I'm bringing oxygen to my brain, but I'm not bringing more electricity to my brain. I'm not routing my masculine and my feminine. I'm not communicating my masculine and my feminine back again to my spine. Then the clenching in the Nadi Sodhana affects not only that I'm getting electricity, but I'm rooting myself in my masculine or my feminine. In translation, what happens to me, and in order that we finish, is that when I'm having a problem that is emotional, then I can see where am I. I see, okay, I'm committing the same stupid thing. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love, not in a nice way. I'm falling in love with all the garbage that I have cleaned up. And I bring it back again. Then I know that, okay, clean the garbage, fell in love, but nicely. Okay, I'm going to make a business decision. I'm going to put the big program, the Be.Tantric program. Okay, I'm putting the Be.Tantric program, but I have to be consistent. I have to be like a businessman. I have to be like this, taking points, image, publicity, business way, tal, my masculine side. But also I don't have to be all the time in a business mood. I have to be human. And humanity has to be compensated the businessman. And then I have to be there. If I'm not in balance, I will be a businessman and I say, okay, I need your emails, I will send you this. Okay, come to the professional training, whatever. But no, you have to be balanced and what is the correct thing to bring into what your intuition is bringing in. Then I can decide what is black and what is white in the way that I feel good, in the way that I know that is going to be correct for me and correct for the other ones. Not for correct for my ego. Not to boost more money. In order to make abundance. And interrelate to the people and co-create with the people. Not take advantage of the people. Then approximations started to change differently. And it's you, because inner wisdom is coming. But also I'm affecting all my biological system, but also I'm affecting the way I'm thinking and the way I'm balancing my whole body. Okay. Good?
We're good.
Okay, I have a presentation about homeostasis. I can translate it or I can ask help to be translated because it's in Spanish. Then I will see if somebody can help me in order to translate it into English. It's not so big, but I'm going to be doing and I can give it to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there's Then if somebody I know that Anna will remind me, please remind me about
Mark will.
Mark or Anna can remind me in order to give to you the Mulabanda, the Master Key, and the translation of Homeostasis.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
have promised something in the morning.
Yeah, you promised something in the morning.
Yeah, the
I
conscious
remember
breathing. That I
You
have.
remember, Joao, what he promised? He promised so much.
I know there'll be recording online for us to rewatch.
Okay, let me write it down.
Yeah, I know what you promised, Anand. You gave us in the morning exercise that it's useful for us before we get in contact with clients.
Okay.
To really rebalance ourselves before we get in contact with clients.
Yeah, the conscious breathing.
Yes. Conscious breathing, I think you were in a chair again, so it was on a chair.
Yeah, then I'm
Yes,
going
I
to
know, you
spend...
did this one yesterday also.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm sorry again about being late, but it was not my fault. Then now I know what to do. I have to end the meeting and then restart it again from the same link.
Okay, and then it works.
Okay, well, I will see you within the week if you wanted to go to the other courses. And if you don't have time, I'm going to have it recorded in YouTube.
Yeah, because you're having on Sunday you begin the 5 days course, the 6-day courses.
Yes.
Or 7.
The formal one. The one that you have paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And tomorrow morning you are having a course also.
Tomorrow morning,
I'm helping you.
Tantra yoga. Tantra yoga.
Yeah.
Yes.
To do it. It's at 9 a.m.
Yes.
Anand, can I ask a question?
Yes.
And now I'll need to go, guys. Thank
Okay,
you.
perfect.
Okay, bye, Joao.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Adeu.
You too.
Adeo. Yes, Jill.
I saw that you have a course from the 24th to 28th of